Young currants enter the period of fruitfulness in the second or third year of life. With proper care, the bushes will give the greatest yields by the age of 5 to 7. But if the currants are not regularly pruned in spring and fall, they will turn too bushy, which will result in lower yields. So the natural aging of the bushes, which occurs at 14 years for the black currant and at 18 years for the red currant, will come much earlier. Welcome to Big Progress, and let's learn some tips about pruning currants. The purpose of pruning currants. The properly done pruning of currants is a guarantee of abundant fruiting and high quality of berries. Here's what happens when old, damaged, or young but weak branches are removed in time and regularly. The nutrients will be redirected to the young shoots. The branches will be spaced less frequently, so the risk of infestation by fungi and lichens will reduce. The plants will be less prone to pests and diseases. The bush will gradually renovate, as old branches will be replaced by new, well-developed shoots. Bush formation. Post-harvest pruning ensures good growth and bigger yields in future seasons. This is also the best way to keep the full-grown bushes in fruiting condition for a long time. The annual pruning of black, white, and red currants should include several stages. The pruning carried out after harvesting, in fall or early spring, is done to form a bush consisting of no more than 20 core branches of different ages. Spring pruning is sanitary. It is carried out to remove dried, damaged, frozen, and diseased branches. In the middle of summer, the actively growing branches are plucked to allow more flower buds to grow. After 5 or 6 years, the stage of cutting away the old branches is added, pruning currant bushes in different seasons and life periods. The currant is quite a broad bush, which may lose shape and the ability to fruit effectively in a few years without proper care. The old branches take up so much space that the new shoots growing in the core of the bush lack sunlight. After pruning, only 15 to 20 branches younger than 6 years old should be left. Weak, redundant shoots and old branches are cut out. However, this does not mean you should prune only the plants of 6 years of age and older. The formation of all types of currants begins from the first year, right from the moment of planting. Pruning currant seedlings. To prune the seedling properly, cut off the tops of the shoots, leaving 2 or 3 buds to grow. You shouldn't leave more than 3 or 4 of them, in order for the buds to grow strong and healthy during the season. Most of the berries on black currant are formed on branches of 3 or 4 years old. To be precise, the fruit forms on small, 1-year offshoots. Their lifetimes are not long, they die off after 1 or 2 harvests, and on core branches, which are older than 5 to 6 years, the fruiting process stops completely, and then they gradually dry up from the top to the root. Red and white currants have fruit buds situated mostly on short shoots. These shoots are quite strong. They do not dry out after harvesting for several years. You may find them at junctions of growth increments of 2 different years. The greatest harvest will be from the branches of 4 to 6 years old. The life of these varieties in general is longer than that of the black currant. It is important to remember that by carrying out formative, sanitary, and rejuvenating pruning regularly, you can get stable harvests of currants during many years without being afraid of dangerous diseases. Pruning currants in the second year of vegetation. In July, in order to stimulate the formation of lateral shoots, the branches are cut by 10 to 15 centimeters or by 2 buds. This technique activates the underground buds, which will give the new growth this summer. Fall pruning of black currants in the second year of life should be carried out with the removal of fresh shoots, except for a few of the strongest and most promising ones. In the future seasons, they will become the core branches of the berry bush. But if the plant has given too many new shoots, don't spare them. To the end of October, when the fall pruning is carried out, the thin shoots that produce only shade should be completely cut out. They won't have enough time to grow strong by fall, so when the frost comes, they will be too weak for wintering. As a result, the whole plant will receive less nutrition, and in the process of spring pruning, the frozen shoots will have to be removed anyway. Pruning of 3-year-old bushes. In general, the pruning process for bushes that have already started fruiting is the same as a year before. Since there are already many shoots growing from the root, it is important to cut off the weak and badly developed branches that come from the core of the bush, since they shade the newly formed buds. Pruning scheme. 1-year-old shoots are shortened in mid-July. Like a year before, from 2 to 4 buds should be left on each lateral branch of older core shoots whenever the current bush is pruned. In spring or in fall, all dried or pest-damaged parts of the shoots are to be removed. If you find diseased branches, to burn them will be the best option. In winter, a 3-year-old bush will finally complete the formation and development, pruning the bushes of 5 years of age and older. From the age of 5, black currant bushes need gradual rejuvenation after harvesting. It means that the branches of 5 years of age and older that have already gone through their peak of fruiting need to be removed. They are cut out above the surface of the soil, with all the tops and shoots coming from their base. For a full-grown bush, it is important to remove all the dried branches that are close to the soil, as well as diseased branches and the ones providing shade for the whole bush. After that, the pruning is performed according to the following algorithm. The lateral shoots of 2, 3, and 4-year-old branches are shortened, so that only 2 to 4 healthy buds remain. 1-year-old shoots are plucked 10 to 15 centimeters from the bud directed upwards or towards the side. All the shoots of the present year are cut out, except for 3 to 5 most promising ones. Tips for pruning white and red currants. Both red currant and its close relative white currant have a slightly different bush shape. They have fewer drooping branches, so to provide the fruiting shoots with enough light, you need to carefully remove all the branches that cover them from the sun. And the whole process of pruning is slightly different from the same of black currants. Flower buds form not only at the bases of 1-year-old branches, but also on short perennial shoots from 2 to 3 centimeters long. Therefore, the red currant branches that are older than 5 years still bear fruit, and rejuvenation for these bushes is required at a later age than for black currants, and needs to be carried out much less often. From the age of 7, the weak branches that don't bear fruit anymore should be cut out after harvesting. However, you should never pluck the 1-year-old shoots on white and red currants in the summer, because there are fruit buds located on their tops. The annual pruning of red currants is carried out in spring before the buds swell, or during the rest period before the beginning of frost. As a result, the bush should have 16 to 20 branches of different ages, and there have to be 3 to 4 strong newborn shoots among them. Pruning for forming the bush. In fall or summer, after harvesting, the shoots that are badly developed or infected with diseases and pests should be removed. If the bush requires a massive pruning, it is better to remove it completely. The branches with a hollow core require special attention. A little dark hole may be a sign of a dangerous pest, clearwing moth's larva. Such branches should be cut and burned without regret. In summer, during the flowering season, you can find berry bunches with signs of reversion disease. They need to be cut out immediately with a small patch of unaffected wood. For beginner gardeners, the determination of a shoot age may be a problem. Remember that bark and wood of old branches are always darker. The specialists advise to remove not only the 6-year-old branches, but also all the weakened ones, as well as the ones bowing to the ground. It is possible to intensify the fruiting of black currants by removing the branches older than 3 years old during the annual fall pruning. Also, cut off the shoots that have grown by less than 20 centimeters during the season. The old branches should be cut at the soil level. The maximum height of the shoot stump should not exceed 2 to 3 centimeters. In order to stimulate the growth of underground buds, all cutting places should be processed with garden pitch. It is important to remember that late spring pruning of live branches can weaken the bush of black or red currants. Due to abundant juice leakage, dead branches should be cut off without a doubt in any season, from the beginning of spring until the first fall frost.